Put your hands together for Michael Masters.
Gotta watch him steps. All right, like he said, my name is Michael Masters, or as I used to say in college, it's Michael Masturbator! No, I don't have to masturbate anymore. I'm married. There's some masturbators in the crowd there. That's good. You know, nothing wrong with it. Otters masturbate. You know, like they say, the saying goes, to each his own. No? Okay, well, like I said, I've been married for 22 years. My wife. I tell you, when you first get married, you argue a lot. You argue about silly shit, just, you know. Like, you know, there's some water on the toilet seat. She's like, put the toilet seat up. I put the toilet seat up, and next thing I know, she goes in there. She's like, why is the toilet seat up? Put the toilet seat down so I don't fall in. So I put the toilet seat down. You know, just petty stuff. But as the years go on, it gets a lot easier. Sometimes you'll start to argue, and you're like, I'm going to bed. I'm not arguing with you. And you wake up the next day and forgot that you were going to argue. So it gets a lot easier. Anyway, she wanted me to grow my hair out, so she calls me Lord Farquaad. But at least she doesn't call me an ogre unless I've been eating onions. My boss, she likes to call me Fabio, but she's never seen my muscles. Heck, come to think of it, I've never seen my muscles. But me, I'm just trying to be more like Jesus, you know. But I've never raised the dead. Well, there was that one time me and Craig Ewing went grave robbing there at Cave Hill Cemetery. Remember that, Craig? That was the night we found out we were psychic. As we were driving through the cemetery, we both saw our future. Cats, is there any cat fans out here? No? I know you say cats in Kentucky and people think you're talking about the Wildcats. But being married, we've got 3 little felines at the house, and I tell you what, I don't like them. I'll be honest. Just to think of it this way, imagine if you had a friend that came over to stay with you for a couple weeks and was up all day or slept all day and was up all night. When you wasn't looking, he threw up under your bed. He threw up under your couch. Go to the bathroom and just leave it for you and never flush. Ugh. Cats are disgusting. And then it's like at midnight there's something that happens. They turn these gremlins. They're up running around the house. They're jumping on the bed. They're clawing at the headboard, you know. One night my wife woke me out of a dead sleep. She's like, honey, I heard something. Go see what it was. I got up. I didn't know if I should grab my gun or a cat toy. She said, here, take my gun. It's got a laser pointer on it. So I was going through the house there and went in the bathroom, and there was a cat just playing with the shower curtain. I said, honey, it's just the cats. Tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm a mailman by trade. Is there any mailmans in the audience tonight? Yeah, I paid them to say that. I tell you what, though, as a mailman, you learn a lot of stuff, like how to speak dog. You walk up on the porch, and the dog's like, let me out, I gotta pee. So I just dropped my shorts right there and peed on the bush. Said, what are you gonna do? What's he gonna do, tell on me? There's a lot of perks to being a mailman. You know, you get free Amazon packages every day. As long as you don't do it in front of a Ring doorbell. You know, when I deliver Victoria's Secret packages, I like to knock on the door and say, hey, you want to try that on for me? And then we've got, so one time when I first started out, I was carrying mail, and this 80-year-old lady was like, is that my record? Is that my record? I'm like, lady, what are you talking about? Nobody uses records anymore. Well, come to find out, the record is the Catholic newsletter. I didn't know that. You know, you might get excommunicated from the church, but you're still getting your record every Friday. That being said, we know where all the Catholics live, and then, you know, the Masons. They think they're so secret and they're so smart. Well, they get a newsletter too, and we know where they live. Anyway, one time it was Christmas, and they give you all these gifts and stuff, and we appreciate it. So I went up on this mailbox, and I pulled it off and went back to my truck, and there was a DNA test in there. So I took off the top there and had a little DNA in it. And I wish I could have been there when they opened up their test results. Well, Grandpa never said we were German and Scottish, and who the hell has alcoholism? Is there any Mexicans in the room? Woo, somebody back there. Well, I tell you, I love Mexican food. You ever been to an authentic Mexican restaurant? You know, it's really good. I have this one on my route. It's called La Cucaracha. But you go in there, and they're like, Mailman, what would you like? And I'll be like, oh, I would like here it is. I said, well, how did you know I wanted the quesadilla espinacas? Like I said, Michael Masturbator, that's my time.
Give it up for Michael Masters.